Hey everyone, I'm Amanda and this is Mommy's Reading Chair. Okay everyone, this is my very first video on this YouTube channel. My name is Amanda, and I am, in case you haven't figured out, I am Mommy. I decided to call this channel Mommy's Reading Chair because I am generally called Mommy more than I'm called Amanda these days. I have a 3-year-old son and a 2-month-old daughter. I am also an elementary school teacher, but I am currently a stay-at-home mom for this year to help take care of the kiddos and, get through the really big, there's such a handful phase. So that's a little bit about me. I am 31, almost 32, and I am super excited to get this YouTube channel up and running. I figured the best way to start would be with the Booktube Newbie Tag. I've watched a gazillion of them in the past over the years because I love watching booktubers. So now I'd like to join the ranks with the Booktube Newbie Tag as my very first video. So I have a set of questions here that I'm going to answer, and hopefully that gives you an idea of what to expect with this channel and what to expect from my videos. So the first question I have my phone here, is why did you start this channel? The main reason I started this channel is because I love to read. And I love to talk about reading, and I love to talk about books, and I love to share my reading with other people. So that's the main reason. I also would love to interact with other grown-ups. Yeah. So having some form of grown-up communication and interaction is a must right now. So I'm turning to YouTube. Okay, the next question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? Well, one thing that I know about booktubers, because I've been watching them for a long time, is that they have so much time on their hands to read. I don't. I'm going to say this a lot, but again, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and my kids, of course, are priority, which means that my reading, I might read a page and be interrupted, or I might, actually have an hour to myself and start to read and pass out of sheer exhaustion. It happens. So I guess the unique part about my channel is that I won't be tackling massive TBR piles, and I just won't be able to. I will always have these ambitious goals, and I likely will not hit them. To me, that's real life. That's realistic. Even when I wasn't a mom, I wasn't always able to knock out all of these massive TBR lists or piles. And so I think that that's something very different. I would love to do those big, long challenges like the 24 and 48, and it's just not realistic. So I think my channel is going to be extremely realistic. In fact, you may see my little ones from time to time, because I'm sure this is going to be something that they'll interrupt eventually, all the time, probably. That being said, they're both asleep right now, so this was the best time to jump on and make my first video. I do also want to mention that being an avid reader is something really important to me to model for my children, specifically my son who's 3 right now. And he is obsessed with books, and he wants to learn to read, and he's already learned many words. He knows all of his letter sounds and tons of sight words, and so there will be some videos on that interaction with my children on reading. So hence why this is called Mommy's Reading Chair. He'll likely join me for several mommy reading time. In fact, behind me, I know they're out of focus, and actually I think they're lower than the chair, so you may not be able to see them, but I have several children's books behind me. Most of his books are with him in his room. Actually, I'm pretty sure he has one in his bed right now that he's sleeping with because he cannot stop. But that's also something that I think is going to be unique for me to bring to YouTube because it's real, it's real life. Okay, the next question, number 3, is what are you most excited for about this new channel? Okay, so I kind of already mentioned, but the biggest thing is the interaction with like-minded people and, grown-ups. That I'm so excited for that. I'm just so excited we already talk about books a lot in my house, but it's, like chicka chicka boom boom. I'm kind of over it. I would like to talk about the books and that I'm reading right now, and I love doing book reviews and I love talking about books, and being involved in this community is something that I look so forward to. Next, why do you love reading? Why wouldn't you love reading? It's like the perfect hobby. It's quiet, it's relaxing. It can be anything you want it to be. Elaborating on that, you can read anything under the sun. I love the feel of a book in my hand. I love turning the pages. I love falling asleep with a book. I don't know how you wouldn't like reading. What book or series got you into reading? Okay, so I was a very early reader. My mom is a big reader as well. My older brother reads a lot. So I was always around books and reading from a very young age. I actually don't have an answer to this question. Okay, next question. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Well, some of the booktubers I've been watching have been booktubers a really long time. So I guess my question would be like, how has booktube and YouTube in general, how has it changed over the years? Because I know I used to run long time ago, oh my gosh, really long time ago, a book blog. And I know that whole area has changed significantly since I was a book blogger. So I'm just curious what the changes have been. Just out of curiosity. Because I've been following some booktubers that have been booktubers for like 6 years. So how is it different now than it was, when you first started? I don't know if anyone's actually going to answer that question, but that would be really cool. So, if you're watching this and you've been a booktuber a long time, hit me up in the comments, please. Okay, so next question is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? In my case, finding the time to, let me rephrase that. Finding uninterrupted time to really form a great video. I'm already pretty solid at making time to read, which is going to be a video topic for you other stay-at-home moms. So it's not a problem with making time to read, but making time and having it uninterrupted to be consistent with content, I think is going to be the biggest challenge, but I'm definitely up for it, and I think I can knock it out of the park. All right, what's next? When did you start reading? I kind of already answered this question inadvertently. Since forever. I guess. I was little when I started reading. I don't know. I've just been reading forever. I was always the kid that was in the library driving the librarian crazy for the next book in a series. It's the ultimate hobby. I've been reading forever. My mom likes to tell this story where my grandmother didn't believe her that I was reading. I think I was like 2.5, 3, something like that. My grandmother didn't believe my mom when she said, yeah, Amanda's reading, and brought her over to my grandmother's house, and I read the newspaper to her. So again, I've been reading a long time. Let's see. Where do you read? Ta-da! This is Mommy's reading chair. Thus, it is where I do a lot of my reading. Not all of my reading, but, you know, a lot of it. It's right next to my bookcase. I've got my nightstand here. I've got my blanket. I've got everything I could possibly need. There's room for snuggles with my kiddos, which is why this channel is called Mommy's Reading Chair. My son actually calls it Mommy's Office because we have a computer room that he calls Daddy's Office, which it houses my computer too, so I'm not really sure why he calls that specifically Daddy's Office. But this area, only the chair, because it's actually in our master bedroom. And, you know, he calls this Mommy and Daddy's bedroom, but he calls the chair, just the chair, Mommy's office. So, I think that speaks volumes with how much I read in it, right? I'll also sometimes read in the living room. I definitely read in my son's room every single night with him. In his playroom, he's got another bookcase in there. I also read every single night right before I go to sleep, no matter how late it is. I make a point to at least read for a few minutes or read until I cannot keep my eyes open anymore. So I read in bed, but most of the time, right where you see me. Okay, and last but not least, the last question. What kind of books do you like to read? I am very easy to please when it comes to reading. I will pretty much read any genre. Of course, I have my favorites. Of course, I have my favorite authors. But generally speaking, I will read anything. I think the genre I read the least is probably nonfiction. But that's not to say that I don't enjoy it. I'm currently reading a memoir, which is my physical copy book. I also am reading on my Kindle a young adult novel. I am 31, almost 32 actually, next week. Happy birthday to me. I do still read young adult novels very frequently. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and make sure that you click subscribe and hit that bell so you can get notifications. I have all of my social media accounts listed below: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Also, don't forget to leave a comment below just to say hello. See you next time.